You're listening to the Outer Banks This Week podcast, a place for people to hear what's going on up and down the beach and to get the truth about what really goes on around the Outer Banks. So, are you ready? Here we go.
Thank you so much, Wes. Outer Banks This Week podcast, episode 118. And as always, it's all brought to you by Outer Banks Pest Control right here in Manio. They service all the Outer Banks in mainland Dare County, and they would be happy to come to your house, your place of business, your office, your shed, your garage, whatever you have that may have some pesky varmints that are plaguing you. They would love to eradicate them for you. You can check them out online at outerbanks-pestcontrol.com. And again, Miss Jessie over there would gladly send a tech to your place of business, your house, wherever, to get rid of said pesky varmints. Okay, I like the word varmint. I don't know why. I just like saying the word varmint. But yeah, so they get rid of the varmints. Again, online, outerbanks-pestcontrol.com. And it's all powered by Kelly's Automotive in Manio. Now, I saw Kelly and Jesse, actually, both, just the other day at a graduation party. And let me tell you something. Kelly Midget is what you would call Cock Daddy Diesel, man. That dude is stacked. I mean, he's one of those guys that's like super nice, super cool, but like he's not somebody that I would want to really upset or meet up with in a back alley. You know, like if you had an issue, I would suggest if there was a problem that you, God forbid, had at Kelly's Automotive or anything, you may want to think about your approach because, again, Kelly is just a stacked mountain of a man. He just don't have that born to kill tattoo like my man Dierks Bentley says in that song. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But Kelly's a super kind guy, super sweet guy, and he'd love to put you in a vehicle of your choosing. If you specific vehicle you're looking for, Kelly will go out and try to find it for you. If you need a shed, he's got some of those too. You can check him out online at kellysobxauto.com. I need to get Kelly to come in here on being the show with me. He's been in these videos here lately, and they're quite comical, and he'll start talking in his normal voice, and then he'll go into a radio voice, and I'm like, he told somebody one time, he's like, I'm channeling my inner Justin Bateman. And I'm like, dude, I mean, there's better people to channel out there for sure. That's another thing that I've been catching a lot of here lately. So there's this, what is it, an Allstate commercial? And it's like, instead of you're getting Bateman, instead of getting Batman, and there's a part in the commercial where Batman bursts through a glass ceiling and Two-Face has got Jason Bateman on the floor talking to him, and he's like, beats him all up. And then he's like, go home, Bateman, do a podcast or something. Yeah, I get that a lot. So, you know, if that's something that you want to say to me, just don't think that I haven't heard that one before. My buddy Mike at Carolina Barbecue Company, he says it to me all the time. I'll walk into his restaurant, which I'm helping. I'm working there a couple of nights a week now just for help him out. And he'll walk in and be like, go home, Bateman, do a podcast or something. And then just start laughing hysterically. And I'm like, all right, Mike, that was old after the first time you said it. But anyway, we digress. Y'all, we're in the month of June. We're solidly both feet in the month of June. It is getting warm out. It's getting sticky out. It is what we call the season here on the Outer Banks, okay? People are here. They're starting to show up. Schools are getting out, so we're starting to see a lot more families, and it's beautiful. I love it. Welcome. Please make yourselves at home. Enjoy yourself while you're here. We love that you're here. Thank you. Again, as I say every week, thank you for choosing our strip of sand to enjoy a vacation. I mean, you could have gone other places. You could have gone to South Carolina. You could have gone to Virginia, but you chose us right here on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and we are very, very thankful that you have. If I can help you in any way, shape, or form, let me know. Justin at outerbanksthisweek.com. You got questions about places, things, attractions, whatever. I would love to help give you some advice in which way. And if I don't know, I'll find out for you. Okay. Justin at outerbanksthisweek.com. Love to help you. Absolutely love to help you. One little piece of advice, and it's not anything like bad that anybody's doing. It's just, so here in the summertime, and I'm sure there's other places are like this too, but like there's always like a 20 to 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. And that's every day. every day in the summer, okay? So a lot of people, and I've done this, will, when they park and they're walking around different places, especially here in downtown Manio, they may leave their windows cracked a little bit to let the air vent and, it doesn't get too hot in their cars. But at the end of the day, sometimes people leave those windows cracked and a pop-up storm shows right up and just downpours for about 5-10 minutes or so. And they have a carpool at that point, at some point. Even though it's sticky and sweaty out and everything like that, and your car can get super muggy, if you have the capabilities of keeping your windows up, may not be a bad idea. I know you're gonna open the doors, it's gonna be like a sauna as soon as you get in there. But I know that I like my vehicle to remain dry on the inside. I'm not looking forward to having any sort of like pool in my car. So that's just something to think about, because I'm not saying it happened to me the other day or anything, but just a little piece of advice, like leave your windows up. I mean, it's just, even though it may help with ventilation and your car won't be as hot when you get back in it, I would still consider leaving my windows up and not cracked, because if you are a significant distance away and a downpour comes, you're swimming. That's just a little something I was thinking about. Oh, I'm trying to think. Oh, coming up on this episode of the podcast, super cool. So coming out in a few weeks is our summer edition of the Outer Banks This Week magazine. It'll be on your news racks up and down the beach from Corolla to Ocracoke, over in Manio, Wanchese, Dare County Mainland. You'll be all over the place. And the featured article inside the issue, it's going to be on surfing. Okay. And I decided, well, let me rephrase. We as a company decided that the podcast this week needed to be on surfing. So I picked up my gear and I ran across the bridge to Nags Head, milepost 10 3/4 on the bypass to Outer Banks Boarding Company. And I spoke with Mr. Lynn Shell. He's actually being talked about in the article. And he and I sat down, went over some things, talked about some stuff. And I'm going to be inputting that audio here in this episode of the podcast here in just a few moments. So that's going to be what we talk about. Outer Banks Boarding Company and Lynn Shell surfing, shredding on those gnarly waves, bruh. Oh, yeah, man, I paddled out in those waves, and I was totally stoked. I mean, we live off the stoke. Yeah, brah. Yeah. Sorry. All right, I'm done now. All right, trying to think. Any news? None that I can really think of that's really jumping off the page at me. But for all news, you know where to go. We're going on over to see our buddy Sam Walker at SamWalkerOBXNews.com. That's the man. Grand Slam. Woo! Sam Walker. SamWalkerOBXNews.com. I want to thank Miss Michelle from the Artsy Octopus for being on the show with me last week. If you get an opportunity to swing by there, milepost 16 on the beach road, go in there and pay a visit to her shop. Lots of neat things, art, lots of jewelry, little trinkets, lots of cool stuff inside that store. They're guaranteed to find someone for everyone. Yes, I know I said that generic phrase, but anyway, Artsy Octopus, definitely a cool store you'll want to check out over there on the beach road, milepost 16 in Nags Head. It's really, really close. It's in the Dare building. It's very close to Jeanette's Pier. So I want to say I appreciate Miss Michelle for being on the show last week. Captain Marty fishing guides are out. I'm getting lots of requests for autographed copies. Some of you may have requested them lately, and I haven't been able to get them out to you yet. That's because the captain is very busy right now. Captain Marty's in the middle of tournament season, okay? He's all over the place at different tournaments in different areas of Eastern North Carolina. I got to get him back into my studio to sit down and autograph a few more copies, okay? That's what I need to happen right now, is to get him in here to autograph a few more copies. And once that happens, you will get your Captain Marty fishing guide. But if you are wanting one, Justin at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. Just email me, and I will gladly, again, when the captain is available, get him to sign it, and I'll have it in the mail to you as soon as I can. So, it's like Alan Jackson said in the song "Work in Progress." He looked down, asked the Lord to help him. The Lord looked down and said, "Just be patient. I'm a work in progress." Well, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm a work in progress. All right, going to take a quick break here in just a moment. But first, hey, we got to check in with my boy, and yours with OBX After Dark. You know who I'm talking about. It's your boy, Matty P.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Matty P, back with another edition of OBX After Dark. All brought to you by the Jolly Roger. That's right, y'all. We sponsored now, baby. This episode is brought to you by the Jolly Roger, and any other future episodes is also brought to you by the Jolly Roger, located at 6 3/4 milepost there on the beach road in Kill Devil Hills. Y'all, go to their website, check out the drinks, check out the food. They got amazing breakfast. My favorite thing to get there is the trash plate after a long night of partying. You already know what it is, man. Look, this episode might be brought to you by the Jolly Roger, but I was not there this weekend. Let me tell y'all where I was at. Man, I was at the Tap Shack, y'all. I had a gig this past weekend, and I was there at the Tap Shack with the Blue Crab Boys. We were playing some music all night long, y'all. Look, if y'all are looking for something fun to do in Duck, North Carolina, the Tap Shack has music every single night, whether it be a little band, a little acoustic gig. You know what I'm saying? Look, they got stuff going on every single night of the week. It's a great place to go if you're looking for a laid-back, chill kind of vibe, listen to some music, sling some brews with the boys. Look, man, the Tap Shack had me surprised, y'all. The BPL at the Tap Shack was a 7.6, y'all. 7.6 BPL. That is not a bad score. Because look, that's where all the bougie girls are at. You want to find you a nice take home to your mama type girl, you go to the Tap Shack and you meet you some bougie girls. Look, 7.6 at the Tap Shack. We'll be back next week with another edition of OBX After Dark, all brought to you by the Jolly Roger, located at 6 3/4 milepost there on the beach road. 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet!
Discover an exciting blend of local seafood and classic southern flavors at Oceanus Bistro in Avon on Hatteras Island. Oceanus Bistro provides a comfortable and inviting atmosphere for all of our guests. Whether you're grabbing a bite on our outdoor deck, having a fun evening with friends at the bar, or enjoying a night out with family, Oceanus Bistro has been carefully curated to create an amazing dining experience. To see their daily specials and to peruse their menus, go online to oceanusbistro.com. Oceanus Bistro in Avon, that Hatteras Island dining experience you've been looking for.
An experience unlike any other on the Outer Banks. The Lost Colony, presented by PNC Bank, features harrowing fights, incredible costumes, and jaw-dropping special effects to tell the story of the first settlers of the Outer Banks. Bring the whole family to experience this remarkable show under the stars on Roanoke Island, running May 29th through August 23rd. Visit thelostcolony.org.
My man, Matty P. Yeet! I'll tell you what, soon enough, I'm going to be doing an episode of the podcast where I go out with Matty P. I'm going to take my equipment and I'm going to follow Matty P around one night and we're going to do a show. And again, he's a fun dude. If you get a chance to meet up and find Matty P, I suggest you do so. Hang out with him and you're going to have a great time, man. That's a fun dude right there. I appreciate my man, Matty P. Or if you walk up and you call him Big Precious, that'll really get him. Call him Big Precious. That's what Andrea at Jolly Rogers calls him. So anyway, we appreciate our boy Matty P with OBX After Dark. All right, going to jump into some shout outs. And again, if you're a listener to the podcast, hey, look, I've been getting some emails and some Facebook messages and stuff like that here lately. Would love to give you a shout out. Again, my email, justin@outerbanksthisweek.com. I want to start out with my man, Mr. Ryan Cashion. Now, dude, I think I'm butchering your last name. Let me know if I am. But he and his fam are coming into town. Miss Caroline, Mason, Afton, and Arden, they're going to be here, and they're going to be on the beach, hanging out, partying it up, having a good time. And I'm telling you, my shout out to them right now is for, thank you for listening to the podcast, and thank you for coming down here and hanging out. I hope that your vacation is wonderful. Anything I can do to help make it better, let me know. I will gladly put that energy into that and do what I can. If y'all are able to come see me at trivia on Wednesday night at McGrath's Burger Shack, even if you don't get a chance to play, you just want to stop by and say, hey, that's fine too. I know you got an X amount of time to get a lot of stuff done, but if you want to come play trivia with me, we'd love to have it. But if you just want to stop by and say hey to your boy, I would love that too. Okay. So, hey, Mr. Ryan, Miss Caroline, Mason, Afton, Art, Thank you all for being here on vacation. I hope it's everything you want it to be and more. Thank you guys so much for being listeners of the podcast. I want to shout out to Mr. Billy Oakes. He reached out to me wanting to get a copy of the Captain Marty Fishing Guide. Mr. Billy, again, I got to get the captain nailed down to sign some because it's tournament season for him, as I said a few moments ago. Once that happens, you're going to get your fishing guide. And then again, anybody else that wants one, let me know. But Mr. Billy, thank you for listening to the podcast and thank you for being a fan of the captain. I'll make sure that when he signs it, it is to Mr. Billy Oakes. And I want to shout out to Miss Charlotte Red and Miss Sharon Strandberg. Did I say that? Strandberg? I may have messed that up. Let me see. I'm going to pull their email up real quick. This is from Miss Charlotte. She said, fan of the podcast. She and her husband lived on Pond Island, which is right there on the causeway. It's like that little small island that you blink and you've driven across it. Her friend Sharon has property on Cedar Island, and she took a spur of the moment, untouched, beautiful sunset photo, which if you go to the Outer Banks This Week podcast Facebook page, the fan page that we have, I posted that photo up just the other day. Her Facebook got a lot of likes and comments. She wanted to share that photo with me. It's a real photo, not altered in any way. I believe you. She said, thank you for being the best to us. She loves the podcast, the way we're so welcoming to the visitors and locals alike. Miss Charlotte. I combined Sharon and Charlotte for a minute there. Miss Charlotte, thank you for being a listener to the podcast. Love to meet you and your husband someday. Super awesome that you shared that photo with us. Really, really appreciate that. And yes, I mean, I love I'm a local boy. I'm a homeboy here. Wine cheese is 14th generations. You know what I mean? But I know I love my visitors too. And that's why I always say, if I can help you have a great vacation, I want to do so. So please, again, let me know. Miss Charlotte, thank you again for this photo. It is up on the Outer Banks This Week podcast Facebook page. So go take a look at it, give it a like, give it a follow. And again, I'm going to try to be better about posting and doing things on the Facebook page. I feel like I've slacked in that region of my work. And I'm going to try to do a lot better. So, Miss Charlotte, again, thank you so much. One more quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to Mr. Lynn Shell from the Outer Banks Boarding Company. If it's barbecue you want, trust Pigman's Barbecue, the best on the beach. Everything is smoked on site at Pigman's Barbecue. Slow smoked chicken, ribs, and of course, barbecue. Plus, they cater. Planning your big Outer Banks wedding? Let Pigman's handle the food and you can focus on the important stuff. Pigman's Barbecue, milepost 9.5 on the bypass, Kill Devil Hills, and online at pigmans.com. Pigman's Barbecue. They're bringing saucy back that'll make your lips smack.
From the moment you leave the dock, the Crystal Dawn out of Pirates Cove Marina in Manio will take you on a seafaring excursion you'll never forget. Whether it be a sunset cruise, birthday party, wedding, or a celebration of any kind, the 65-foot spacious Crystal Dawn would love to be the vessel that helps create a lifetime of memories. They are Coast Guard certified to carry up to 97 passengers. To book your private trip in paradise, go online to crystaldawnheadboat.com. Your view of heaven can be found on the deck of the Crystal Dawn.
All right, as promised, I've made my way across the sound. I'm over here in Nags Head at milepost 10 and 3/4?
10 and 3/4.
10 and 3/4 on the bypass here in Nags Head at Outer Banks Boarding Company, or OBBC, as some people like to call it. Sitting here with Mr. Lynn Shell. Mr. Lynn, thank you for giving me some time to talk today.
Sure, Justin. You got it.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you a lot. So this the summer edition coming out of Outer Banks This Week magazine is focused around surfing. And I figured who better to talk to than Mr. Lynn of Outer Banks Boarding Company, because Mr. Lynn has a long history he's surfed his entire life. He was showing me some stuff a little bit ago that we'll get into a little bit more here in just a second, but he was showing me those things. He's got his store. He shapes boards. I mean, it's a long history that you have. And of course, it all is a direct reflection right here inside your store. I mean, you specialize in all things boards.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Let's talk about you, though. So tell me, who is Mr. Lynn? Where does he come from? How long has he been on the Outer Banks? Give me a little history lesson about Mr. Lynn Shell.
Well, a lot of people don't realize, I mean, I was actually born a resident of Knott's Island in Currituck County. We lived in a house on the Sound that looked over at the back of the Outer Banks, the northern Outer Banks in Washwoods near Washwoods Coast Guard or the life-saving station. And my dad used to take us in a John boat in the summertime from our house over to the beach. And that's where we went to the beach for the first, 4 or 5 years of my life. And then my grandfather had a big 150-acre farm down there, and his health got to where he couldn't take care of that. So sold all our property, and my dad moved us up to Pungo, Virginia.
Okay. So you grew up going over to the beach right over that way. You jump on a boat and you'd ride over there and go to the beach and whatnot. Now, is that where you discovered your love for surfing? Did you notice somebody out there one day and you're like, man, I really want to do that?
No, we didn't really, that was my love for the ocean, because my dad would set a gill net out and pull the gill net in the afternoon and clean the fish and cook it on the fire right on the beach. But the love for the beach started there. And then my father leased from the city a small part in Sandbridge, a public beach that we provided lifeguard service, rented rafts and umbrellas from probably about age 7 until, my cousins were lifeguards, my brother, myself. And we were there until the early 70s. And then my cousin actually took that over. But that was where I was introduced to surfing. I was the summer of 1965. I would have been 10 years old. Okay.
So in the summer of 65, you were like, okay, surfing looks really rad. I really want to do this. Now, so did you just... Your first surfboard. Talk to me about that. What was that? How big was it?
Well, honestly, we learned how to stand up on the canvas rafts that we rented.
Okay.
And so when we saw a surfboard, canvas raft is probably 4.5 feet long. When we saw the first surfboards that came, they were like 10 foot. A whole lot easier than a canvas raft.
Yes,
to say the least. But had to have help to get it to the water. Probably weighed close to 50 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a decent sized board. It, had to, 10 years old lugging that thing to the water, but you still did it nonetheless.
You'd either drag it or put a towel on your head and have somebody put it on your head.
Okay.
That's one reason I'm a little shorter than most.
Well, you see a lot of pictures, from back in the 60s and 70s with people carrying their surfboards with it resting on their head, walking into the water. So, it makes sense. Was there a lot of people that surfed at Sandbridge in that area? Was it a quite popular sport?
Well, it was not nearly as popular as like the oceanfront in Virginia Beach, but we didn't mind that. Our big thing is being able to have access to drive down when you used to be able to drive off onto the beach and down into Carolina and down to Penny's Hill, that whole area. And there was a shipwreck down there that we used to surf. And, that was pretty unique. We would go down there and camp and all that.
Okay. So surfing a shipwreck made for a nice break right there. Is that what I'm guessing?
Collected the sand, and it would cause even a very small wave to break better than just on the beach.
Okay. Now, was there ever any body that came out to the beach and said, you guys can't surf here anymore. You got to go somewhere else. You're not allowed to surf here. It's just it's not working.
The interesting part is you have a generational gap, whereas, bringing up to today's standards, even in the whole Nags Head area and Kitty Hawk and all, it was against the law to surf in the 70s, in the early 70s during the daytime hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, wow, you couldn't surf during the daytime hours.
Yeah, in the summer. And then, of course, all the park service, from Body Island, Coquina Beach, that was all fine. But it was just in the townships. But as surfers moved here, grew up, became lawyers, became business owners, and, that all went to the wayside. And not only that, having the surfers out there when the waves are good, active, rough, it really actually helped the lifeguard service because all the people that would get pulled out into a rip would get pulled out to where the surfers were.
Okay.
And so that's one of the reasons now, we do have a leash law in the townships and even in the park. They like you to wear a surf leash. And that really helps to keep the board from going in close to the beach and hitting someone that might be standing in the shore break or wading in the water. But more so important, it really kind of helps, like I said, the lifeguard service in a lot of ways because the surfers are out there and the people can get, I've saved several people that have gotten pulled out in the rip.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. That's very interesting. So you've been surfing, you decide through the 60s and 70s now. When did you make the move down here to Nags Head?
I started coming. I had some older guys bring me for the first time down when they were building the jetties at the lighthouse, which would have been about 1969.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe 68. Yeah, somewhere in that time. But they were building the jetties. I remember distinctively, they had the big slabs of concrete lying on the beach, and they had 3 piers built, wooden piers. And when it got down there, I pulled out my sleeping bag, and I slipped on one of those big concrete slabs because we got there late.
Yeah.
And that was my first remembrance of actually surfing down at the lighthouse. And from that point, right when I got out of high school in 73, I moved to Buxton.
Okay.
And was in Buxton pretty much every season, would work and save my money and travel to warmer climates in the winter.
Oh, very cool. So you basically lived the dream, as some people like to say.
Yeah. Poor man's dream.
Well, you think about some of those movies like Endless Summer.
Yeah.
And like they're just traveling, figuring out, where the waves are and everything like that. Definitely some neat movies. And of course, we all know about Point Break. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. I'm not even a surfer, but I love that movie.
North Shore, don't forget that movie.
Yes. Oh, I can't forget about North Shore. Absolutely. But so now you've gotten down here. What made you want to start? Like, you shape your own boards too, correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So was it just like the deep love for the sport itself of surfing that you were like, what, I'm going to make my own boards now? Is that what got you started doing that?
Had a lot more to do with just the people that I became associated with, that became friends, and Wave Riding Vehicles, who's here. They were kind of the first company that I got a sponsorship. I didn't actually pay for surfboards.
Oh, okay.
And but that's a sponsorship in the 70s, right?
Right.
But I met some guys in the mid 70s, I think it was 1975, that moved up from Florida, and it was Natural Art Surfboards. And they had a factory. They built in an old fish house. It had a cooler in it, and that was actually all insulated. It was a walk-in cooler, and that was a shaping room. Oh. And that was in Hatteras Village. And they built surfboards there for over probably a year and a half, but the wives didn't like the winter times in Hatteras, and so they moved the factory back to Florida. In 1977, that's when Scott and Carol Busby, they moved up and started Natural Arts Surf Shop.
Yes.
In Buxton. And then the next I knew them, but became good friends with them in 78. They actually offered me a job to work in the surf shop. And then working in the surf shop, learned how to repair boards. Scott was the one who actually mentored me in building boards.
Okay. That's pretty awesome. That's a cool story. So you started doing that, and then next thing you know, you're like, hey, open up my own spot in Nags Head. Is that kind of how am I following the
little more of a journey than that?
Okay.
Yeah, I was down there and worked for them for 8 years till 86, and I really wanted to get into sales because that's when the surf industry was just exploding, and still working on boards, but it took a couple of years to get into the wholesale part of it, selling the surf products to the actual surf shops up and down the coast. And I got the opportunity and would go on the road, and I went all the way up to Long Island, New York, and even a few times to New England, and all the way down to as far as Georgia, but more so South Carolina. and selling a product. And I actually did that for 16 years before I met my wife. I didn't get married till I was 40, and didn't want to be on the road anymore. And Bert Pearson, who owns all the Bert surf shops, which are in southern North Carolina. There's one in Myrtle Beach, and they built 2 up here on the Outer Banks, one in Kitty Hawk and the one that we're in here in Nags Head. And they wanted to get out of the Outer Banks, and this was about 2001 to 2000.
Okay.
And there was someone that actually had worked for me, and he was working here at the store, and Bert approached him. His name's Robert Farmer. And he said, hey, why don't you take the store over? And so Robert came to me and said, hey, Bert wants to do this. So in 2002, we took the store over as Bert's. We remained Bert's and honor him for 2 years, had a licensing agreement. But here we are, and we're in the 24th year we changed it in 2004. Of course, changed it from the inside out the first 2 years, and then changed the outside of the building, the appearance in 2004, and been Outer Banks Boarding Company ever since.
Okay, I was kind of reminiscing when I walked in the door earlier. When I was younger, when I was probably 10-ish, 11-ish, 12-ish, somewhere in there, I bought a skateboard from Bert's Surf Shop. And it was a Powell skateboard with Crux light truck, Speed Demon bearings. I mean, I tricked that thing out, and I was not good at skateboarding whatsoever.
But you were cool.
But I was cool because I had everything that was in a CCS magazine that everybody wanted. Anyway, so I had to tell that story real quick because that's a memory of mine. In my Etnies, I had Etnies, not Americas. I had Etnies. But anyway, so you got the store now. You take it over in 2004, and it's Outer Banks Boarding Company. And I know before we cut the mics on, you were talking about we specialize in everything boards. So talk to me about what constitutes as boards inside the store.
Yeah, I mean, the whole surfing industry, we saw just such an explosion. It was like probably the very late 70s, early 80s, but through the 80s, I mean, surfing just kind of exploded. And it was, a lot of males, not a few females, but not nearly as many females as what we see in the last 5 years. I mean, that is what we're going to see, the biggest expansion worldwide. They say there's going to be about 5 million new surfers, and the majority of them will be females.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's modern day. And because of surf lessons and surf camps and all those things, it's pretty exciting. But getting back to your question about, the hard goods, I mean, that's where our heart really is. I mean, it's in the sport of surfing. It's in riding waves, whether you're a bodyboarder or body surfer, whether you're a surfer, ride a softboard, whatever it is. I mean, it's a feeling, our whole mantra as far as like our mission statement is, at OBBC, we sell Stoke, which is service, teamwork, originality, knowledge, and excitement. And really, the excitement is the big thing because that's what got us excited. And that's what makes it so exhilarating is the excitement of getting up or riding a wave. And it just brings a smile to people's faces. And it's great to be able to help people experience that and to get better at it. And through that, whether you're selling them their first product or you're selling them, they've been surfing for 25, 30, 40 years, you're able to continue that stoke with the customer.
Okay. All right. See, and I love that. I heard that before you told me that. And I believe it's part of an audio piece that we did for you at one point. Experience the Stoke of Outer Banks Boarding Company. Yeah. So, all right, let's play a little situation real quick. All right. You've got surfboards and everything like that. I'm 5'10", and this is true. I'm 5'10". I dance in the 240 to 250 range, depending on, what the wife cooked for supper the night before. I walk into your store, Mr. Lynn. You know what? I want that 5'6" over there in the corner. I want to go out and shred on a 5'6". I bring that 5.6, set it up there by the counter, and I say, Mr. Lynn, sell me this 5.6. It's for me. What are you going to say back to me?
Sorry.
Sorry.
I can't do that.
So you wouldn't sell me that board?
Not with a clear conscience.
Not with a clear conscience. Okay, so you will actually, people that have never surfed before, people that are inexperienced or have little experience, novice experience, you actually assist them in the process of saying, okay, you may want to start here. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're really about fitting the proper equipment to the person. That's really what it's all about, because if you don't, I tell everybody this, surfing is a three-letter word. It's not a four-letter word. Three-letter word is fun. The four-letter word is work.
Right, yes.
And so, nobody wants to go in the water and work so hard and get no reward. And, surfing, like I said, it's fun. And so, and that's one of the things sometimes when you get too serious about surfing, you can lose that. And, you have to remember and get back to the fact. And that's one thing about helping people that are beginners and novice and all that. They have so much enthusiasm about it, and that's the one thing. I have grandkids now. I have a 8 and 11-year-old boy and a 21 and a 23-year-old from the two siblings. Mm-hmm. And, they've all surfed, but the little ones are just so incredibly stoked about getting in the water and surfing, and they'll spend 6 hours out there. They don't want to come in for food, sunscreen, nothing.
Yeah, I got you.
But that's the thing that keeps you, I'm 7, I just turned 70 years old, and, that's what keeps me really excited and stoked about going, is seeing the enthusiasm in them and other people.
Do you paddle out with your grandkids?
Absolutely.
So let's go back to, all right, so I've brought this 5.6 up to the counter, and you're like, Justin, I don't think that's going to work for you. Yeah. I've never surfed before. What are you going to suggest to me as somebody that's never surfed before? I'm 5'10", and I'm a 240, 250, depending on the day.
Probably like a 22-foot privateer or something.
A 22-foot privateer?
You can stand up.
Oh, my gosh.
You can stand up on that one. No, I'm just kidding. To get you started and to get you going, because it's all about how fast you want the learning curve. You want stability. You don't have any real paddle strength in your arms, so you need to have something bigger. So when you take a stroke with your arms when you're paddling, to give you better inertia to catch up to the speed of the wave. And then stability as you're pushing up, because most people learning, it's a 2 to 3 to sometimes 4 step process to get to your feet. It's like prone to kneeling, to one knee, to standing up.
See, a lot of people don't think about it like that. So you would probably suggest something slightly larger than a 5'6".
I'd say 10 foot.
10 foot at minimum. Okay. But I just wanted you to do that for me real quick, because it speaks to the heart of the store, that you are not going to sell somebody necessarily what they want, but you're going to suggest what they need in order to be successful and to have fun.
Yeah.
And people will remember that. They'll come back and be like, Mr. Lynn, I remember that day when I was in here and you got me set up on this. Well, I've gotten a little bit better. I'd like to try something else. And then you can kind of help guide them and direct them from there as well.
Yeah.
So,
there's a couple of things that we do. We do rent the softboards, which most everyone here do as well, as far as on the Outer Banks. But we also carry a brand of hardboards that we rent. We try to rent mostly what we actually carry in the store, so that a customer, if there's a certain size or something, as long as we have that in a rental, what I call a rental demo, whether they want to rent or they want to actually try out a board that they're interested in. That's the mid-range. And then we also have a, which is called a Firewire Fleets, and Firewire Surfboards is kind of like the biggest surfboard manufacturer in the world. They sell all over the world, and they make a really nice product. And we have a program called Firewire Fleets, which is available on their website and on ours as well. And we make it a very seamless, opportunity for the customer, because we actually have a QR code. They can come in with their smart device, they download the QR code, they can go through and see what we have and rent it all on their smartphone.
Okay.
No paperwork. They sign the waiver online. It's very seamless.
They do all that and then they just show up, pick it up, and paddle out.
Show up and blow up.
Show up and blow up.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Lynn, if people wanted to take a look at what you have inside the store, they can find you online. Is that right? If they're if they're not here yet.
Pretty much everything we have is on an online store.
Okay. It's
either outerbanksporting.com or obbconline.com. They can even put in comments, or they can even do reviews. They can actually even send us a message before they come, and they can reserve. We do rent skimboards as well. So we're just kind of a full boarding company. We do surfboards, skimboards, bodyboards, skateboards. We have street boards, cruisers, and park boards as well for skating.
Okay.
I mean, even hand planes for bodyboarding and swim fins.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, Mr. Lynn, again, I appreciate you giving me some time today to talk about your surf history, what brought you into the sport, what got you down here on the Outer Banks, and how you've kind of maneuvered your way into having this beautiful store. And I suggest if you are in the surfing world, even if you need a swimsuit when you get here, I mean, you've got the gear, you've got it all right here at OBBC, and this is at milepost 10 3/4 on the bypass in Nags Head. Yes. So I suggest you get down here, check this place out. Stop in, ask for Mr. Lynn, tell him you heard all about it on the podcast and you wanted to meet the man, the myth, the legend. And I mean, he's got some neat things in here. I'm sure he'd love to show you. So, Mr. Lynn, again, I appreciate you giving me some time. And that Outer Banks This Week summer issue coming out very soon. It's going to talk about surfing in it. There's actually a little mention or two of Mr. Lynn in the article. So look forward to that coming out. Mr. Lynn, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Justin.
Hi, I'm LB Daniels, and when you want great local seafood, you go to Fresh Catch Seafood in Wanchese. How do I know it's great? My daddy is one of the fishermen that brings it to the docks. At Fresh Catch Seafood, you will get local seafood right from their fish house. They are a family-owned business that knows the name of every fisherman that comes to their docks. Visit their social media pages to see the latest catches. My daddy would love to put his tuna on your dinner plate, so get it now from Fresh Catch Seafood in Wanchese.
Are you ready for a fishing thrill like no other?
Oh, there he is! There he is! Oh, got him up!
As seen on WikiTune at Outer Banks, the Carolina Girl, captained by majestic Jesse Anderson, is a custom, luxurious, 53-foot Jarrett Bay built boat running out of Hatteras Harbor Marina. Let Jesse and her crew give you a fishing experience of a lifetime. To book a trip, go online to CarolinaGirlSportFishing.com. Carolina Girl Sport Fishing, your offshore adventure awaits.
Man, I'll tell you what a really cool guy. Mr. Lynn Shell over at Outer Banks Sporting Company is definitely an awesome person. I mean, he's living his dream. Think about everything he did. I mean, grew up right there at Sand Bridge in Virginia, surfed up there, came down this way, lived down in Buxton for a little while, and he was a salesperson with Natural Art. Was it Natural Art Surf Shop? Anyway, he's lived his dream. I mean, he fell in love with surfing when he was younger, and he has ultimately lived his dream. And now he's got Outer Banks Sporting Company right there, milepost 10 3/4 on the bypass in Nags Head. It's definitely a super cool store, and it's got knowledgeable staff, lots of cool things in there. So I suggest if you get an opportunity to stop in there, swimwear, if you're not into surfing, skating, or anything like that, and you just need a swimsuit, they got you right there. Outer Banks Sporting Company in Nags Head. Really appreciate him doing that and having that interview with me. All right, we're going to jump into some events, and these events that I'm mentioning are found online at outerbanksthisweek.com. Coming up on Friday, we're going to start with Live from the OBX. They're getting ready to get fired up. You know, you remember the old Music group? Well, it is now Live from OBX and online at livefromobx.com. Coming up on Friday, June 20th, is the Charles Wesley Godwin, and he's got special guests Drayton Farley and McKeely. I'm probably screwing that name up. I tried to figure it out before I cut the mic on, but I know I've messed it all up. McKelly Buck. Their gates are going to open at 5 o'clock. Show's going to start at 6:30. It's rain or shine, and general admission tickets are $35 a piece. You can get those tickets online right now, live from obx.com. Now, coming up not long after that, two separate nights, June 26th and the June 28th. So on the 26th, you got Travis Trent, followed by Jake Owen on June 28th. More details to come on that. I'm hoping maybe, just maybe, I can score an interview with one of them. Going to try. No promises, but I'm going to try. So yeah, more details to come on those two shows. We got trivia nights, live music across the board, karaoke nights all up and down the beach. You can see all that again online at outerbanksthisweek.com. Trivia nights with me at McGrath's Burger Shack, 6 o'clock every Wednesday. And listen, I love to have fun. I want you to come have fun with me. I can almost guarantee you're going to have a good time, get some great grub, and have some fun doing the trivia. And I'm telling you, I really hope that if you get an opportunity to come play with me, please do so. All right, let's take a look. Coming up this weekend, there's some things going on in the town of Duck. The Elizabethan Gardens has a few things. There's stuff going on down at the Froggy Dog in Avon, Mike Diana's Grill Room. Oh, shoot, live music with Jonas Hurd at Buffalo City Distillery in Point Harbor. That's definitely something you may want to go take a look at. Let's see, Brian Campbell's going to be at Fish Heads Bar and Grill, music bingo and trivia at Mulligan's. Lost Colony, again, don't forget about the Lost Colony. I know you probably just heard a little spot for them, but they're going to be every night throughout the summer, except for Sunday nights, I believe. So that starts at 8:30 in Manio. Let's see, this weekend coming up, I'm looking at June 14th, the Tri-Villages Market. I need to get up with them. I need to go do a podcast with them at the Tri-Villages Market in Hatteras, down in Rodanthe, actually, at Camp Hatteras Resort. That's something I think is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to try to schedule that one in the very near future. Again, lots of things going on at Fish Heads, Lost Colony Tavern, things going on at Whalehead Brewery in Corolla this coming weekend. Also, Kitty Hawk Surf Company is doing a season-long kayak fishing. What is this? Kayak fishing tournament? Holy smokes. Okay, Kitty Hawk Surf Company presents the annual Outer Banks Kayak Fishing Tournament. Compete to fish the OBX waters via kayak all season long and get a chance to win some great prizes. So you can go online. Let's see. You can go online to kittyhawk.com and click on the events tab, and you can get some more information about that. Let's see here. Going into next week, there's a morning ghost tour at Whalehead Club in Corolla on Monday morning starting at 9 a.m. That might be fun. I'll tell you what, again, Manio walking tour. Okay, that's one thing that Greg Smerdell does here amongst a lot of other things. Get an opportunity to go do that, please do so. Okay, I happened to be riding by the other day when he had a group, and they were so engaged, and then all of a sudden I hear them all start laughing, and I'm like, that's Greg. He's got them. He's educating them, and he's making them laugh at the same time. So maniowalkingtour.com is where you can find more details on that. Let's see, coming up into Tuesday, let's not forget about the OBX Flying Dutchman. They've got games throughout the year, and you can go online to obxbaseball.com and get more details on where they're playing here locally, especially if they're playing right here in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Look at the game times and the schedules for all of that. Lots of different things going on throughout the week in Duck, Camp Hatteras. There's things going on with the Corolla Wild Horse Fun. They're doing Mustang mornings on the farm in Grandy. Let's see. More things going on in McGrath's, Buffalo City. They're doing open mic night at Old Tom's here in downtown Manio. Coming up, let's go to next weekend. Oh my gosh, what night is that? There's one night that's got like 10,000 things. Thursday, June 19th. There's lots of things going on. Ride the Wind. They're doing stand-up paddleboard yoga in Ocracoke. Lots of things going on in Duck. The Ocracoke Preservation Society is doing porch talks. Sand Trap Tavern, music bingo. Dude, I'll tell you, there's so many things. It's so hard to just list. Oh, Ty Fleming's going to be Friday, June 20th. If you don't make it to Live from OBX with Charles Wesley Godwin at Festival Park, if you don't get a ticket to that, you can always go check out Ty Fleming over at Fish Heads on. I need him on the show. I got to stop talking about it. I need to get his butt on this show. Ty Fleming to me is the man who created Chris Stapleton, but he's going to be jamming out 7 to 10 Friday, June 20th at Fish Heads. So there's some things to think about. Again, what is this? Kind Cocktails coming up on Saturday, June 21st. The Tipsy Terrarium. What are you doing, Holden McCohen? Get tipsy and crafty. Join us for Tipsy Terrarium, a one-of-a-kind mixology and terrarium workshop. Shake up your evening with custom cocktails featuring Kind Cocktails and create your own lush terrarium to take home. It's the perfect mix of boozy fun and botanical creativity. Spots are limited, so grab your friends and reserve your spot today. You can go on to his Facebook page to get more information. You can register. There's a Google Doc that you can click on right here, and you can go to kindcocktails.com for more details about it as well. It's going to be happening at Bow and Vine in downtown Manio. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That's coming up. Mark your calendars. Saturday, June 21st, 4 o'clock. The Tipsy Terrarium with Kind Cocktails. All right. Again, online, OuterBanksThisWeek.com is where you can find all these events. And there's so many of them now. Again, summertime is here. When these events calendars are super stacked, that's when you know that summertime is here. And we encourage you to participate and go and be a part of. Thank you for those that already do and continue to do. But if you haven't been to any of these great events that we list on our website at OuterBanksThisWeek.com, go take a look and go find some fun things to do. You're guaranteed to have some fun. All right, one more quick break. When we come back, we're going to wrap this thing up.
What could possibly be more fun than watching a bottlenose dolphin swim and play in the water right beside you? Hop aboard Harbor Star Dolphin Tours at Wanchese Marina and witness this remarkable animal up close. The Harbor Star is a spacious 50-foot vessel with a wide, shady canopy that runs 2-hour trips multiple times a day, including a breathtaking sunset cruise. To book your tour, go online to wanchesemarina.com and click Harbor Star Dolphin Tours. See the majestic bottlenose dolphin up close with Harbor Star Dolphin Tours.
You know what, Lexi? You're absolutely right. There's not many things more fun than having a dolphin swim and play right beside you. Now, keep in mind, you must stay on the boat with the Harbor Star Dolphin Tours. If you jump in the water and try to swim with the dolphins, one, they're probably going to swim away from you because it scares them. And two, if it doesn't scare them and they've got like one of their calves with them, which is what a baby dolphin is called, a calf, they're probably going to attack you. And honestly, they're going to go after your ribs with their noses, and it's not going to feel good. Think about the sharks that they attack with their noses, and they swim really fast towards them and hit the sharks. Yeah, think about if they did that to you, not likely you're going to survive. So I don't suggest getting in the water with the dolphins. They're not flipper. I mean, they're not trained. They're wild animals, and they will instinctively protect themselves if they feel threatened. So you can watch them in all their majestic glory from a great dolphin cruise with Harbor Star Dolphin Tours. There you go. There's my PSA. All right. I don't believe I forgot anything. I'm pretty sure I got all my shout outs in. If I didn't give you a shout out, I apologize, and message me and say, hey, bro, you forgot about me. All right. And I mean, I will do my best to remember next. I try to take notes as soon as I have a Google Doc that I have all of my podcast notes on. And as soon as somebody emails me, I try to go right into my Google Docs and make the note. That way I don't forget. So if I did, though, I apologize for real. And please send me a message, email me, whatever, and say, Justin, hey, man, you forgot about me. And I will make it up and I will talk about you for an hour. Okay. No, just kidding. I won't do that, but I will make it up, and I'll make sure you get that shout out. So I really appreciate it because I really do love you guys that listen on a regular basis. I really, really do. I appreciate it. And it just helps me keep going when I see, because I can see the numbers for people that listen and how many streams I get. And when I see those numbers, it makes me feel good because it's like, man, I must be doing something right. So thank you all. Share my podcast with all of your friends. Anybody that loves the Outer Banks, please share it with them and spread the love. Spread the love. That's all we want to do. We want people. I want you to love this place as much as I do. Okay. Growing up, I really took this place for granted. And it took me leaving and coming back to realize that I lived in paradise. I still do, and I'm so blessed to be able to be here. And those of you that come on vacation and get this little slice of heaven, I want to make it that much better for you, okay? I know I probably sound like a broken record, but I really do, and it's something I'm very passionate about. So, again, Justin at OuterBanksThisWeek.com would love to help you with your vacation, would love to answer any questions, anything you need from me. Please don't hesitate to ask. Justin at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. All right, I want to thank Mr. Lynn for being on the show. Great guy. If you get a chance to to go by Outer Banks Boarding Company and pay him a visit and do a little shopping while you're at it, that would be absolutely awesome. Next week, I am diligently working on, a friend of mine's daughter, she's in her teens, early teen. I say early teen. She's like 16, actually, I believe. I think she just got her license. Anyway, I'm trying to get a podcast squared away where I can have like, what is some of the teen girls in that age group, their favorite things to do, go see, shops, places that they like to hang out, trying to get that information from them. But she's like, I can't get any of my friends to want to go on. I'm like, well, you might be the one that does it. So that's what I'm working on for next week. If not, we'll find out. Again, that's the plan, to get this girl, her name's Aubrey, and her friends to come on the show. So anyway, we'll see what happens. But hey, Outer Banks This Week podcast, wrapping up episode number 118, all brought to you by Outer Banks Pest Control and online at outerbanks-pestcontrol.com, and all powered by Kelly's Automotive in Manio, online at kellysobxauto.com. All right, I'm out of here. Have yourself a great and wonderful rest of the week. I'll see y'all again next week. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Y'all take care now. Bye-bye.
This has been another radical edition of the Outer Banks This Week podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe, follow us on social media, and listen every Thursday for a new episode.